You said you operate in Hyderabad, isn't it? Or Bangalore?
Me?
Huh?
Raj is in Canada.
Oh, Raj is in Canada.
Yeah, Toronto.
Oh, okay. So really burning midnight oil, Raj.
2:30 a.m.
30 a.m. Oh, that's good. So thanks a lot
Yeah.
for making real hard work for that. And you were in badly need of coffee, I think, which I'm
So
sure you'd have
I'd
had.
say I'm a whiskey person, not coffee.
You are a best. 2:30 a.m. you can always. Okay. Okay, good. So this was, the whole thing, Raj. So it's not as complicated as it sounds. So overall thing, this is the page 64. In that sense, Raj, if you realize, this is page 64, which is the PMI's representation is like this. PMI does everything in little bland way. They wouldn't give the colors and all those things. They wouldn't, but I have tried to give it. So these are the same processes what we have seen there. Okay. So now we are going to take this journey little ahead in the PMBOK itself. Okay. So there I go here. This was the place where we went ahead and understood those 10 knowledge areas, and now we have gone deeper, and that depth is here. So 49 processes, there are inputs, tooling and technique and output. This we have seen it. We have also seen this one, the 6 groups, data gathering tools, so that a lot of data gathered and then analyzed. After analyzing, you need to represent it so that the people understand it, people appreciate the data, and then you need to make appropriate decisions. Very important characteristics to be shown by the project manager. Did I start the recording? Yes.
Yes, it is started.
Yes.
Yeah, and then comes, while doing all that thing, we can't forget that the project manager, even at 2:30 a.m. in the morning, you need to have good communication skills and interpersonal skills. So Raj, 2:30 a.m.,
Yeah,
I'm
2:30.
getting scared to even listen to that. So, but good, thanks a lot. But for me to take a party, I will have to probably spend huge money. Raj, what do you?
Yeah, no. It's like $1,200 in summer.
Good. So coming back to these are, the common characteristics. What do we need? We spoke about this. A lot of work performance data gets generated, created only in execution. And remember, if you see the whole of the journey here, now we are familiar with this. So this is the only guy who creates deliverable and work performance data. Work performance data is actual work progress on ground. No intelligent project manager, program manager, portfolio manager, CEO can create work performance data. It will be created by the people who are working on ground. Similarly, deliverables are also created by them. So this thing is, this diagram is speaking about that work performance data. This is then given to all the monitor and control guys. All these people here, if you look at it, all the people who are doing monitoring and controlling, they take this work performance data and compare it with your project plan. So comparing that is monitoring. Monitoring is basically comparing planned versus actual. And all the work performance information, when it is for scope, schedule, cost, and independent dimension, when they are combined together, a sensible dashboard, when it is made for consumption by different stakeholders, it's called as work performance reports. Work performance report, as you can see, is an output of monitor and control project. Look at it here. Here, the work performance report is output of that. So that's what he's trying to necessarily say. Then tailoring is absolutely required. As I told you, someone has tried to write a book which is applicable to a website development, to a e-commerce web development, to a caterer's thing, to the event management, to the civil construction, everything. This book is generic enough. And anything which is generic enough for you to go ahead and apply it, you need to do the tailoring. And tailoring is, will come out of the wisdom. So for example, identify risk will happen for all the projects. But how do you identify the risk for a e-commerce development website versus how do you do it for a, catering for a party versus how do you do for, Banti ki shadi, Babli ki shadi, or whatever you call it as, is going to be different. The identify stakeholder will be there. You'll have to tailor it. How you do for your environment, your organization, your customer is tailoring, which is very important aspect. Now there are important thing called as there are two type of documents which are called as business documents. There are so many project document. If you look at it here, if I were to put it here, I would say there are documents. Now these documents, they have given two parts. One, they call it as business documents. Let me write it here so that it's very clear. So business documents, and then there are project documents. Project documents. Business documents are created before the project is created. In fact, they are the documents because of which a project is created. These are the calculations, these are the feasibilities, particularly not the technical feasibility, the financial feasibility. All that you need to check, and that you should do it before you create the project. That's the reason for which you create a project. So business documents are created before the project. So project manager is not the one who will go ahead and edit or modify business document. Project documents are like project plan, risk register, schedule baseline, all the thing what we have seen, they are called as project document. Project documents are created by the project teams, and they are obviously edited, modified, and all that thing also by the project team. Business documents, project team don't do it. There are two business documents basically, and one of them is called as business case. It is called as business case. Business case could be a complex document, but in short, if minimum thing, just for your visualization, I would say that minimum, it could be an Excel spreadsheet. We say that how much money or how many dollars are we going to invest into that, and how many dollars we are going to get out of it. That calculation should be damn clear. That calculation should show that you are going to make a money out of it. Remember, however, it is very simplified way of doing things. It is not that straight. In certain situations, it could be only an investment, and monetary output may not be there. The monitor outputs, for example, the projects done by the NGO or government organizations and all those things, for them, it is not the money return. They will invest. All projects will need money. So investment is there, but output may not be in the financial terms. It could be an intangible thing. It could be, something happening in the society or so. But even in that situation, there has to be a business case. Unless there is a profitable business case, either monetarily or non-monetarily, that is called as business case. So if if Raj is here, and Raj is actually going to make a business case for making the PMP training. He's doing the project management training. So what he need to do? He need to write saying that how much is he going to spend on the training, how much is he going to spend on probably the membership, how much he is going to spend on the exam, how much of the opportunity value because he will have to do the study, add all that thing. This is the investment Raj is going to do in this particular project. But before he goes ahead and approves, he need to actually make another calculation saying that what is he going to get out of it. So maybe, on my current salary, I will expect, a 5% salary revision over the 2 years period, so much will be there. Then my efficiency will go up by so much, and so much I will, directly save. Some indirect benefit. These two calculations need to be compared. Then only he will enter into a PMP class. I am taking this PMP class as an example. It is not a very suitable example, but when corporates are going to make any project related decisions, they need to make the business case. Is that making sense, friends?
Yes.
So this is going to be created by the customer side, or internal stakeholders can also be involved.
Correct. Now, Shishir, what happens is that, as I told you, that whenever there is a project which is taken as a commercial thing, where there are two parties, one party is expecting the output, and then other party is doing it as a project there. Shishir, what happens? Both the parties do have their own business case. For example, let's say Bank of America is a customer and TCS is a service provider. TCS is going to do it. Now, Bank
Okay.
of America, what they say is that we are visualizing that we'll go ahead and implement, let's say, core banking solution. And this is very silly example, Shishir. Bank of America will not be doing core banking probably, but let's take an example, some system. So core banking, they say that for me to go ahead and do all that thing, I have got an offer from TCS, and they are going to charge me whatever, $40,000 is what they are going to charge. Once I go ahead and do it, probably my operational efficiency will increase by 5%. I will reduce my staff cost. In 3 years of period, I will go ahead and probably end up saving $48,000. And hence 8,000, I'm getting it as a pursued benefit of this. So my business case is there. Bank of America decides to go with this particular project there. But Shishir, while this is the truth, what happens at the TCS end? TCS will make their own business case. They will say that for me to roll out this particular system, I will need so many business analysts, so much of a technical architect, so much of a developer. ये सबका salary for that period, total addition, and I think I should be able to do it in $32,000. If I do it in $32 and if I am charging 40,000, it makes a sense for me. So my business case is also true. Shishir, one thing is very important that whenever there is a commercial project taken between two organizations, both of them will have their own business cases. And unless both the business cases are true or profitable, the project will not get kicked off. Is that making sense?
Yes, yes.
Shishir, did you notice that whenever, even in the IT service company, you would realize that internal calculations are always done when you are giving the quote? That time estimates are put and there is a finance department who will go ahead and do all those perceived calculation, and they will say that you can do it only if you get it above so many dollars or above. Uske niche mat lena. Are
Yes.
you getting it? What is
Right.
that actually? Wo business case is. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
So and your now listen to this carefully. Your revenue is their expenditure. Customer calls it as an expenditure, correct?
Mm.
Or customer calls it as an investment. Now he wants something more than that investment. Correct?
Correct.
And that's how it is there. So both the parties will have their own business cases there, and unless they are true, it will not be triggered. But most important thing, friends, is that business case will be made before the project. When it is being done, project managers sometimes are called because project managers are operational level guys like you and me. The big boss doesn't have a time to make spreadsheets and Excel PPTs or anything. Project manager will only help him to do all that thing. And if that business case is okay, then project charter will be signed. Project charter is the first document created for the project. But business case, project manager will not change. He will not be. If he believes that down the line something has happened because of which business case is not as attractive, he need to escalate it to the sponsor. Sponsor then will take a call about it, saying that should he continue the project or should he close it premature. So that's what is there. So business case. However, friends, remember one more thing is that while this is there, if I take the same example about Raj doing this PMP as a training, only business case is a gross to gross, gross so much of investment, gross so much of output, and it's making a sense. That's not enough. You need to maintain good trackers. Now, what are those trackers? It will say that I will be paying, the training fees on such and such date. And this is the amount. This is the amount. This is the date on which I will be giving. And membership, I will take it on, 1st of June. I will take and going to cost, if I put Indian rupees 10,000 higher. Then the exam fees I'm going to pay on 1st of July, and I'm going to, pay whatever 24,000 as the thing. Then even it is investment, even in terms of benefit, I will get, probably 2% salary increase or bonus because of clearing it on this date. Then I'm going to get 5% like this. In basically a tracker saying that what are the benefits you are expecting, what is the date on which, and what is the amount for that. Now, this is all planned. You go ahead and put one more column there as an actual date and actual amount, and keep on writing. Such a tracker is required, and that's called as benefit management plan. Remember, business case is at a gross level. Benefit management plan is at a detail level. Sometimes there are investment where business case was shown to be a brilliant thing. Without that, it was not approved. But in good old days, it so happened that someone went ahead, showed the business case, invested it there, and 4 years down the line in the same company, if someone said that, "Ye kya hai? How is this system in your end?" They heard, "This is all idiot, yeah. I mean, we are unnecessarily wasting our money." So someone said, "Why did you do it?" They say that it was an idea of some vice president 4 years back. And now that guy is no more with us. But he has implemented all that thing, and now we are just maintaining that whole headache there. Are you getting? Basically, while business case is attractive, the tracker is required. A day level tracker saying that At a given date, how much investment, what are you going to do? On the given date, how much are you going to get the return? And planned versus actual need to happen. Sometimes what is thought to be a planned in business case, in reality doesn't happen. It is not that attractive as it was there. And tracking that thing is called as benefit management plan. These two are called as the business documents, which are coming before the project in terms of benefit management plan. Planned part of it will be built before the project. Actual part will actually get built during the project, at the end of the project, even beyond the project. Remember, quite a few dimensions of the project, the benefits will come after the project. Is that making sense, friends?
Yes.
Sanjay, one thing I did not understood, but I got what exactly the business documents are. But like at what phase we generally, you said like it is all these both documents are required to sign the
Charter
charter.
itself, correct, exactly.
So in this case, like where exactly we actually do this business document
Now
in the
look at it,
charter itself.
correct. So see, Pawan here, develop project charter, which is the first process, correct?
Correct. Correct. Yes.
Look at it here, these are inputs.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, I missed it.
It
Now
is
I
an
got it.
input
Yeah.
here, correct? So it
Yeah.
is, and that's where Pawan, do you remember that when I was saying that Raj was working on the thing, I called it as a day zero of the
Right.
project. है ना? Day zero में होता है ये. Are you getting me? This is the
Now I
before the
got it.
project.
Yes.
So this is an input there, which is, which is there. But good, very good observation. And so they are not created, in the project. In fact, that's the document one which decides whether the project should be started at all or not.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So that's what are those two documents is what he's trying to say there. Business case will have, so much of the thing, business need, analysis of the solution, what are you proposing. They say that, whenever you are proposing any of the thing to the sponsor, you don't go ahead and say, "Okay, this is the issue and this is the solution I am proposing." You tell them saying that, there are options. And how did you arrive at do nothing, do the minimum, do the do more than minimum. Now, what are these three options? They say that in a given if you think that, implementing some automated system is going to reduce your, turnaround, customer turnaround time by, let's say, 3%, is what you are going to get reduction in the, customer turnaround time. Now, what is there is that you don't go ahead and say, you implement the system, will reduce by 3%. You need to tell him saying that if we do nothing, what will happen? If we do minimum, which is required, this will happen. And do more than minimum is so much. So that basically the boss should get an opportunity to choose something out of it. See, sometimes what you are giving as a solution, the investment and all that thing could be better than doing nothing as well. So you need to tell him, say that if I don't do this, what am I going to get? Do the minimum and do more than minimum. That's what is there. So multiple options you need to say that. Then, sponsor gets an opportunity to choose. Obviously, you need to give your recommendations about it. Obviously, all that thing, these NPV, ROI, all that thing we have seen it. They are handy in making the business case. So that's how this, whole thing happens. Benefit management plan, as I told you, a tracker to go ahead and track the things there. What will describe the mechanism? It has a target benefit. What is there? In fact, not only benefit, I would say investment as well. You need to say even investment, strategic alignment, time frame from realizing. When do you expect this to happen? Within a week, within a month, within. Sometimes organizations go ahead and do an investment thinking of brilliant output which is going to come up. But in reality, when they start doing, it may or may not occur. And benefit owner, who is going to be there? Once it is done, who is going to track it? Then what are the metrics by which you will measure whether this particular? So, for example, if it says 3% reduction in the customer turnaround time, how are you going to measure this? How are you going to measure exactly? So that's there. Then what are the assumptions and if there are any risks? All those things are, need to be tracked into this document called as benefit management plan. Remember, all planned part of it, Pawan. So all planned part of the component will be created in that day zero before the project. Actual will be done only when you start doing the project in reality. Correct, friends?
Got it.
You need to have actuals mark there, isn't it? So that's what they are trying to say. There are project documents like project charter, project plan, and so on. So we'll be learning, all of those later. Now, one more important thing they say is that there is something called as a project environment. You need to ensure that the project runs into an environment. There is a whole of the environment and it is running into that. Now, what does that mean? Is that if just for the sake of visualization, I always take this very funny example, friends, is that you would have realized that when there is a seasoned batsman, let's say coming on the fourth position, fifth position, whatever, for the batting, and then, once he actually comes onto the crease, did you notice that a good batsman will not go ahead and stand there on the crease and ask the bowler to say that, go ahead and do the bowling? He doesn't. He normally will go ahead and probably watch where are the filters. He will probably go ahead and tap the bat onto the crease and see how is the crease or how is that pitch there. Probably where is which direction is wind flowing, where is the umpire standing. So many things, he will watch everything, the straight, they call it as the side screen and all that. All that thing they watch. And then, they will take probably, half a minute doing so. And then the batting starts. Is that right? Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Yes, correct. I'm sure you would have watched it. So, friends, what is that? That what they are trying to say that I am a good batsman. There is no doubt about it. But let me go ahead and take a sense of the environment, because my wisdom, my strategy, and all that thing, I need to align with the given environment. In the given environment, how will that work? I should check it. Otherwise, I might fail here. Same concept what they have done. The chapter 2 writes environment in which the project works. They said you could be a brilliant project manager. You could have delivered several such projects in last 10 years. But in the given company with the given customer, how is it there? You need to take a sense of that environment. Or if you don't do that, and if it is not really a seasoned project manager, he might go ahead and deliver the project, and at the end of it, he might come back and say, if I would have got cooperation from all the department, that would have been brilliant. Or if he says that in this company no one listens to anyone else, until the last company I was working, they used to follow all the instructions. This company, no one. Now, are you getting? Basically, here it is not question of whether people listen to you or not. Question is that this is the environment here. You should have gone ahead and planned your game accordingly, which means you should have managed the project like that. And that is, there are two factors broadly. There are two factors which are there in the environment, which we'll be seeing just in this chapter. So it's a small chapter, smallest probably. So environment is the project work in an organization, and they are surrounded by other entities, like there are operations in the company. There are portfolio managers who are actually the super bosses there. There are the program managers. Your project could be part of a bigger program. There could be PMOs, central PMOs and all that. You could have finance department. So many people are there, and all these people, the way in which they behave, the way in which they actually speak, is going to matter the way in which your project's output will perform. So it's very important to understand that this is how it should be done. So work in organization and should be managed and considered project environment. They have broadly categorized the environments which actually impact into two things. One is called as EEF, stands for enterprise environmental factors, and the second one are called as OPA, or organizational process assets. Now, what is that? See, the difference is environment, which means environment is something which gets created by the nature. You can't change it, but it impacts your plans. You need to adjust the thing as per the environment. That's one thing. On the other hand, there are few assets which are available. Now, remember, don't go with the word called as an asset. Sometimes they could become a liability as well. There are certain things which are built by someone, and you as a project manager should be habitual to use those appropriate assets. For example, in a given company, there could be brilliant templates to make the dashboard. In the given company, there could be some good tracking softwares. All those things you should have a habit to use it rather than trying to do it yourself. Those are called as OP, organizational process assets. In my opinion, the reason for which PMI would have thought to incorporate these two things here is that because project managers, see, one of the things is that Projects are not like operation. PMs are performing one project, they deliver it successfully, and they move on to the second project, which could be with the different customer, different company, different set of people, different business units, so many things there. Now, there is a habit of some people to go ahead and say that my things are not working here. While that's not the case, basically, should all the people follow the processes? Yes, there is no doubt about it. There is no debate about it. But in the given thing, the compliances are not so much. Some companies are having extremely good process compliance. Everyone follows the process. There are some companies who don't follow. Now, remember, friends, you can't at the end of the project come back and say that my project failed because people are not following the processes. The sponsor will shout at you. He will say, that, then what were you doing? You are employed to deliver the project irrespective of whatever is the situation there. And that's what EF and OPAs are there. What they are trying to say, take a pause before you go ahead and play the first ball. Or in fact, when even you are playing the game, keep an eye onto the environment, saying that how is the environment, and adjust your project management that way. And that's what is there. So EEF and OPA. Now there is some detailed thing here. EEF are the conditions which are not under the control of the project team. They either influence, constraint, or direct. Remember, those are influencing, which means they are impacting. Constraint means they are actually giving you some limitation. In this company, if you want any approval, you need to have 3 level of hierarchical approval. There are some companies. Have you came across such experience? Too many levels of approvals are required. Yes,
Yep.
Big organization,
big organizations, government-related organizations. So there are
bank
too many
related, yeah.
bank-related. Now those type of things, there are too many approvals which are required. Remember, Swati, a project manager who come back and said, "Yaar, aise nahi chalta. I was working with whatever company, and then there it was, simply I will raise something and it will get approved within the thing." It makes no sense. It does not give you an excuse to not deliver the project, successfully.
Yes.
That's called as a constraint. This whole thing saying that for approval will go through three is a constraint. Influence means it will impact. Direct is other way around. I mean, constraint ka opposite direct. There are certain enterprise environmental factors which are helping you to deliver the project better. For example, an organization which is extremely protocol oriented. There are some companies which are protocol oriented. They follow the processes very religiously. Remember, it's not always bad. In certain situations, their adherence to the process could be a benefit to your project. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
वो outer pitch में what is the situation, Shishir, is not always a detrimental to the batsman. Sometimes it is beneficial to you as well, isn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But most important, Shishir, is that it makes no sense about grumbling के outer pitch में ऐसा था तो मैं नहीं खेल पाया. You should have arranged the thing accordingly. Are you getting this cricket analogy?
Yeah. But
Uh-huh.
it's too difficult in practical life, right? I mean, this is happening most of the time, right? I mean, it's really difficult to, manage the whole environmental circumstances. I mean, yeah.
Basically, you need to adjust your game accordingly, Shish.
Mm.
That's what is, that's where they are actually hinting. And the reason because of which this second chapter is actually included is that it says that a good project manager will go ahead and get familiar with that. See, Shishir, this becomes, क्या होता है मैं तेरे को बोलता हूँ. If you are working into a company for 10 years, what happens is that there are constraints there, but you are aligned to that. In fact, you are part of that whole constraint.
Yes.
Now, someone outside comes there and then he start realizing कि ये problem है, correct?
Correct.
And your story will be same if you go ahead and change somewhere. Now, the expectation PMI has is that if you are a PMP certified guy, you will be going and managing project in different things. Sometimes government organization, sometimes private company, sometimes an organization which is extremely financial control is too high. Some organizations are having too much of the thing about visibility, एक कलर चेंज कुछ हुआ कि दे विल क्रिएट अ बिग फस अबाउट इट. एक once on a given day, if someone comes without without putting the company uniform, that becomes a big HR case. So Shishir, what they are trying to say कि boss तेरे को ना project deliver करना है, उनका culture में you don't get into it, because if you get into that, you will get pulled into too many things which you are not employed for. Correct? You
Okay.
are employed to deliver the project ना, तो तू वो देखना. Are you getting this?
Right, right. So
So
in this manner, I mean, whatever our stakeholders are saying कि भाई जो भी होगा, it's all your responsibility.
yeah,
Is
correct.
correct. Yeah.
That's the point they are trying to drive. That's it. And Shishir, I mean, are you realizing? Did you notice that there are some people whose story never stops? They are there for 10 years, and 10 years they keep on complaining, अरे यार अपने कंपनी में ऐसा ही चलता है. Have you seen these
Yeah.
things? There
Yes.
is a
Yes.
problem यार
Lot.
शिशिर. What I am trying to say, अब पता चल गया है ना ये कंपनी नहीं सुधरने वाला.
Hmm.
तू सुधर ले या तो फिर बाहर निकल ना. Without doing that, it is actually ridiculous, isn't it?
Right.
That's what this thing is, bottom line. Yes, Swati, you are saying something.
Um, no, not really.
And did you notice, Shishir, direct wala bhi important. Yeah? There are few factors in the given environmental factor, they are actually helping you to deliver. Did you notice that?
Yes.
See, all guys being extremely experienced in a company, सब सीनियर लोग है, 50 प्लस बुढ़ा लोग है सब तेरा टीम मेंबर शीशे.
Hmm.
Now, if you look at it in one sense, it is a limitation. But in other sense, if you look at it, it could be a beneficial because these are very experienced guys. Before you make the mistake, they will catch कि boss क्या होने वाला है. Same thing could be said about all freshers. If there are so many freshers there, they are energetic, they are ready to learn, but they don't have experience. So, are you getting something direct? Sometimes those things are beneficial for you, isn't it?
Yes.
So, वो wait outer pitch is not always bad for the batsman, isn't it? The right batsman will use that for his benefit. Correct?
Correct.
That's what they are trying to say with EF. EFs which are internal to the company are organization culture, structure, and governance. Sometimes organization structures are different. Power project manager as a title has a lot of power. Some organizations project manager as a title doesn't have so much of a power. Very common scenario in a very big company. Project manager is not a very big title. He doesn't have even if you want an approval for someone to approve a taxi for 500 rupees, there you need to go to so many places, so many people, and so on. So those are common thought of things there. Geographical distribution, some companies, if you have worked into a company which is probably 100 less startup like companies, the way in which they are all sitting, each one knows to other one and all that thing, that's there. And from there, if you move into things like IBM and all that thing, where there are so many people, some people are in Australia, some in Singapore, some in UK and all that. Now that brings in its own constraints. You need to manage it. You can't say that, the last startup where I was working, if I want to meet anyone, I was calling him and we are meeting it immediately within 5 minutes. Now, yeah, IBM में नहीं होने वाला. Let us admit it. Geographical distribution is beyond your control. In geographical distribution, you need to adjust the way in which you manage the stakeholder resources. Maybe you need to get familiar with those, video conferencing, audio conferencing, very effective use of the emails. The expecting that every time I will meet people and talk, नहीं होने वाला है. So geographical distribution, not necessarily good or bad. None of EFs are good or bad. They are the constraints. Infrastructure. Some companies do have a very rich infrastructure, latest projector, latest conference rooms, best laptops, best tools are available. Sometimes they are not. IT software, some companies do have Microsoft project and whatnot. So many tools which are there. Some companies don't have. They say that everything you have to do it using the Google Sheet. Excel bhi nahi, we don't buy Microsoft Office. So you need to do it. Resource availability, employee capability. These are all EFs you need to be careful of, and you need to plan your game accordingly. Which are the outside EFs? They are marketplace conditions, sometimes very volatile marketplace, sometimes social and cultural influences and issues in certain situation, in certain countries, there are different type of things. Legal restrictions, these do change, particularly if you are delivering a project across the border or in a different country, there are more legal restrictions you need to be aware and you need to plan it. For example, in India, if some resource doesn't complete, some work there, it's not very uncommon, friends, to go ahead and tell him or her, "Hey, आज पूरा खत्म करके ही जाना है यार, don't leave it like that, just ensure that, whatever you complete it here. Now, the simple thing in a given country could be an illegal thing. Are you sensing this, friends?
Yes,
In
yes,
some countries,
Yes.
it could be. So that's what he's saying. Commercial databases are available, academic research. Some industries, particularly related to oil, gas, and power, there are so many, standards which you need to follow. You can't compromise on that. Financial consideration, physical, environmental elements. Sometimes it's a very harsh physical environment. If it is a civil engineering project, you can't say that, in last company we had all the AC cables to sit. Civil engineering, it is there is a shed put into the sun and you need to sit and work the project. These are all the EFs which are there. Then comes OPA. EFs are got created because of the situation. OPAs are created by someone. They are assets. So for example, some company might have good tools, some company might have good templates, and so on. They are called as OPA. The reason for which OPAs are also said that because there are some project manager who are always interested in developing their own, systems and tools and dashboards and all that. Did you notice that there are some people
mm,
who are very good about it, and sometimes they are proud about what they do. Correct?
yes, correct.
Now, problem about those people, Shishir, is what they sometimes end up reinventing the whole wheel. Correct? Because the problem is that कि ये सब का है in the given organization. It may not be exactly in the. I mean, you could be very familiar about your own Excel template. In this company, you need to put all that data into the system and then see it. Now, if you do it into the Excel and show it to the quality guys, he might say कि अच्छा लग रहा है यार शिशिर, but अपने कंपनी में तो तेरे को you'll have to do all that thing input. अब जाके बैठ till the 9 p.m. in the night and go ahead and ये पूरा repeat करके देखा. Your
Right.
Excel file is not enough because for my company, this is the tool. That is called as OPA. And OPAs very often, project managers have a tendency not to use it. Use those OPAs is very important rather than, not using them. Getting familiar about, whatever I'm doing. So it include process tools, procedures, organizational knowledge, repositories. There is so much of knowledge available there. And then organizations, impact. There are so many, methods are there. So project run in the organization and each organization work in its own way. For example, and this is a very funny example, but in a given company when I was working, that if you are going to raise some request and to the boss, every request will have to go to whatever a person who is at a CXO level. You need to send it for his approval. And when in the beginning I used to send it to the mail, I used to never get a response. When I inquired about it, I realized that in this company there are thousands of mail which are anyway pending for his mailbox. So I said, then how is that going to? नहीं नहीं नहीं, ऐसा नहीं करना चाहिए. You need to pick up the phone and talk his secretary. There was the secretary of that boss. You talk to her and she will get it approved and she will talk to them in quite a big companies. Don't get surprised, with this statement is that the mailboxes are not opened by the boss. The secretary herself will open it. Have you seen this?
Yes, yes.
ऐसा होता
Most
है there.
Yes.
right, right.
Whatever literate is the boss, it is not nothing to do with how literate is the boss. वो system है वैसा. So in that situation, in our case, it was not boss was operating himself. But I mean, there used to be 2000 mail. Yeah, so you need to pick up and talk to that girl. And you need to tell
Hmm.
कि ऐसा ऐसा मैं भेजा है at this time, 12:44. You have to tell all that thing. So once you tell that, then at an appropriate time, that lady will go to him and say that कि Sanjay has sent you that mail. तो वो आप देख लीजिए and if you want, you approve it. It's not that, she can dictate her to him to approve it. But वो उसको बोलेगा तो होगा. Now that's a given thing, guys. This is only one example, by the way. I'm sure by now there would have been several examples came to your mind as well. Correct?
Correct.
And ऐसा होता है. That's how it happens. Some organizations you go ahead and raise a requisition, resource manager automatically will, as per the SLA will do it there. In some company तुमको जाके मिलना पड़ता है उसको. Correct?
Correct.
It's common thing. So that's what is they are saying. They are not, by the way, saying something is good or bad. The question is that we are employed as a project manager. So our objective should be to deliver the project. Doing anything which is illegal is not any waste. Huh? By the way, they are not saying that bribe someone and get it done. They are only trying to say that this is the way in which organization work. You get aligned to it rather than grumbling about them. So that's what is organization systems there. In terms of organization structure, they have given all these things. It could be a simple or organic, organization structure. Functional, which means centralized. There are department heads, there are big bosses, topmost boss in each of the department, and they are the boss. And then you are a project manager. Now, if you are a project manager, they will keep on giving one or two resources from each of them. You take it there and solve it. Now, in such a scenario, remember those people have two bosses. For the project reporting, you are their boss. For all other thing, he is his boss. They are the department head is going to do the performance appraisal. Obviously, that guy is going to be more inclined there. In such a scenario, for you to maintain the project, it's not only you need to manage the people, you have to manage happiness and the pleasure of that department head also, because he's the boss. Yeah, if he is a boss, and that's what that type of organization is called as functional. Where there is a multi-divisionals. With so then matrix organization. Now these are not there these days in the PMBOK 5 itself. It was there. 6 maybe nahi tha ye. 7, forget about it. So these are the metrics in which there is a two type of reporting. One is operational reporting and one is whatever the they call it as operational and functional. ऐसा कुछ होता है. So there are two bosses there. Then project oriented is said to be where people are completely reporting to project manager. Project manager is the boss. He takes all the shot. And very virtual type of organizations, which is the structure itself is virtual, and hybrid, which is a combination. These are all type of structures which are there, and there are PMOs, project management offices, which are there in all the companies. They are sitting centrally. All those MBA guys and those business school guys are there, and they are tracking all projects sitting in central place. That's called as a PMO, which is very common type of thing there. This chart is in PMBOK 5. So don't worry, I don't think you will get anything there. As a part of mock study and all that thing, if you come across any question on this, tell it to me. But slide mein hai ye. In terms of PMO, they have said three type of PMOs. One is called as supportive PMO, one is called as controlling PMO, and directive PMO. Basically, supporting type of PMOs are nominated by the project manager himself. They will help you to book the conference room, make the minutes of meeting, create the dashboard, send it to the people, and so on and so forth. Basically, it is an assistant which is created by the project manager to do project management related tasks there. Controlling, on the other hand, are more powerful. They are, doing coaching, mentoring, training. The central quality department in all the companies have typically controlling type of thing, which means they will go ahead and say, use this template for this project, and so on and so forth. Those are called as a controlling. And the top one is directive. In almost all the companies, I'm sure you would have realized that there are some people who are at, whatever, director level or vice president level, or sometimes, general manager level, who is the central PMO. He is the one who is going to he will tell you how to do this project. He will track your project. He will tell you that, submit such and such compliance report. And if you don't do it there, they will, uh, he is the boss. He will shout at you. Maybe if he doesn't, your boss will shout at him, saying that वो साहब ऐसा बोल रहा है, why didn't you do that? So directive are there. So these are the three type of things. These are all called as PMO, by the way. PMO is a very common name used. Sometimes I'm sure you would agree to this, friends, is that sometimes these PMO are junior, वो BSc वगैरह कोई तो भी किया, that type of guy is kept and he is called, or he or she is called as PMO. Did you notice that, friends?
Yes.
Those type of PMO. And Shishir, there are sometimes, who is a vice president. That guy is is a PMO. Have you seen it? Sits next to the big boss. And they call it that we are having this central PMO. Have you seen such PMOs? Very powerful PMOs. Correct, friends?
Yeah.
I have not come across actually.
That type of thing you have not seen, Swati, correct?
No.
Typically, they may not be called as a PMO. Sometimes they are called as controllers, finance controllers. There are different names there. But finally, what does it mean is that they are the one who are going to control the project manager. In fact, a lot of things they have given. All these are the type of tasks these people will do. So a very least powerful to very powerful, organization which is going to help you to do the project management is called as PMO. So it's a huge, wide spectrum of, the type of PMOs.
I have a question.
Yes.
Where does project coordinator sit as a role?
What happens here? Pinbox 6 में तो ये नहीं है, but now because you spoke about it, let me go ahead and show you what was there in version 5. Now in version 5, you see this was called as a functional organization. There is a boss. There are department heads, finance head, assembly head, production head, and so on and so forth. And look at it here. There was the people, these gray wale, these are the people who are nominated for a given project. And here was the project coordinator. What does it mean? There was a project. So Maria, you were nominated as a project coordinator. Does it mean that you can go ahead and talk to these people and directly give instruction? No. You will have to actually talk to their bosses. Boss, they will pass the instruction. This is, remember, they have used the word project coordinator. They are not using a word called as project manager. The word manager has a power, correct? So it is called as a project coordinator. Here, it is in functional organization. Look at it here. Now, if you look at, into the other organization here, we'll come back to this project ties. This we are going to come. But before that, look at it here now. Weak matrix organization. There are functional managers and there is a staff. And did you notice the difference here is that project coordinator has access to these people. You can actually talk to them. Will they listen to you or not is not sure. It is because their reporting is to the boss. Appraisal wo karne wala hai. So Maria, it depends. So it depends. Now remember, very complicated scenario based question they used to throw long back in the exam on this. They said you told him and then he comes back and he did not finish it on Friday. On Monday morning when you investigate and ask him why did he not complete, he said that my boss called me and I was working on some urgent assignment. Today I will do it. They said, what is this? Why, what type of thing is this? And then that was saying you are working into a weak matrix organization. In weak matrix organization, it becomes very important for you to voluntarily keep in touch with these people. The one between is called as balanced matrix. Now look at it in balanced matrix, there is a project manager. The title called as a project manager has evolved down. So far, till the weak matrix or functionalize, project manager was no more a title as well. But in weak matrix, one of those people who is reporting to one of the department, it is now called as a project manager. The very word manager actually gives him some power. He is more powerful than the coordinator. So he will be able to pass the instructions. Still, whether they will listen to you or not is not very sure. It's called as a balance matrix. Then comes something called as a strong matrix. Now in strong matrix, what happens? Look at it. Very similar to this, but project manager is in turn reporting to someone who is called as manager of the project manager. For example, delivery heads, those type of thing. In the IT companies, consulting companies, you have a project head or the delivery head. That is this manager of project manager. His responsibility is not, he's not one department head. He is actually a boss of, all the project manager. All the projects are virtually under them. So this is, getting powerful. Now coming back to last, look at it here. The last one is called as projectized. In projectized, project manager is the boss. All the people are reporting to him. And each one of, for example, they said in the weak matrix or the functional organization, communication with the remaining organization becomes a critical job of a project manager. Are you getting this? In the weak matrix or functional organization, communication से आपको manage करना पड़ेगा मारी, correct?
Yes.
If you are in the projectized organization, you wouldn't care about it because those people are under you directly. But Pawan, if you look at it, what they say, one of the problem about projectized organization, these people are always worried about what will happen to their career after your project gets over. Because they go off on the bench. Remember, one of the advantage of functional organization is that if the project gets over, they have their own line function. They will go and do some work in their own department. Their department is not gone. While here, there is nothing called as a department. There is a project. I am assigned to this IBU or this project. And the moment this project gets over, you will find this guy loitering in the resource department saying, "Sir, project de do." Have you seen it? इन बिग कंपनीज आपने वो ऐसा मेल पढ़ा है क्या? शिशिर ऑल दैट, वो यार 90 डेज हो गया मेरे, मैं बेंच पे गया, इफ आई डोंट गेट अ प्रोजेक्ट नाउ आई विल बी किक्ड ऑफ।
Yeah,
हैव यू
one of
थॉट
my
दिस टाइप
colleague
ऑफ स्टफ्स?
faced this one.
हाँ, तो ऐसा
पहले
होता है ना,
Based
पहले
company.
बहुत ज्यादा होता था
बहुत
टीसीएस में।
ज्यादा होता है, करेक्ट।
Yeah,
टीसीएस
it's a
में बहुत ज्यादा है।
service-based company. Yeah.
So basically that is the problem of this type of structure. This type of structure project manager के लिए is good, but anyway resources are always worried about it. So those type of those are the things which are coming up there. So was that Maria who was asking project coordinator?
Yeah, because in
हाँ,
my current company, project manager के पास authority है, which is like what we see in the projectized
projectized,
section.
correct,
लेकिन
exactly.
project coordinator is still acting like the functional organization.
Exactly, yeah, this guy. So
Yeah.
that's what is where the so project or coordinator is a role only in till the time it is a weak matrix. From
Okay.
balanced onward, see this is if you look at it here, these matrix wale jo hai na,
Hmm.
they are sitting in between projectized and functional. Did you notice that? Weak
Hmm.
matrix is very similar to the functional organization. Strong matrix is very similar to the projectized organization. Did you notice that? These three are
Yeah.
sitting in between these two, na?
Hmm.
Weak matrix is close to this guy.
Hmm.
Strong matrix is close to that, and balanced is in between, na?
Hmm.
Correct? That's how it happens. Now, remember why this is included in the chapter 2, try to understand. I mean, at least earlier. Nowadays, they have removed it, Maria. But what they are trying to say is that boss, ye given organization structure is not decided because you like it or you don't like it. It is because that company's processes and all that thing are like that. Now, so the way in which you manage the project in a weak matrix organization and a strong matrix organization is going to change. Did you notice, friends, that the people who were working into the IT consulting company, when they go ahead and join a customer company, or the people who are consumed, so internal CTO department, yeah, internal IT department of some company they join, or other way around, people who are the internal IT department join a consulting company. Did you notice their
Hmm.
restlessness in the beginning? Have you experienced it?
Yes.
They become restless, huh? Because I mean they are having so many financial power when they were internal part of it. Yeah, IT company में आने के बाद it becomes a big problem for them. Even small changes to be done, नहीं वो पूरा CR करना पड़ेगा. Becomes a nightmare there, isn't it? So things become very complicated there, and that's where this particular concept, type of organization is coming into the picture. Now coming to chapter number 3, which is called as role of PM. This is a very small chapter which shows what are the
One
soft.
second, Sanjay. I mean,
Yes, Pawan.
where exactly this agile in the part of agile, where exactly this role fits in the
Ah,
previous slides?
correct. Now here what happens is that, in case, see, agile could be implemented, Pawan, in any organization. It could be
Right.
implemented by the projectized organization, weak matrix organization, or whatever. So
Okay.
it cuts across anything. Okay.
Got it.
Now, then how does that actually translate? See this, Pawan. Typically, the functional organizations are good if those organizations are operation oriented.
Mm-hmm.
What does it mean? Tata Motors, Bajaj,
Right.
ICICI Bank, these people are better by being functional organization or weak matrix organization. Correct? Because for them, operations are predominant. Correct, Pawan?
Right.
But if you look at IT or consulting company,
Mm-hmm.
okay, those type of thing, for them, projectized is a better thing. Projectized or something called as strong matrix. Yeah. So you will find, for KPMGs,
Yeah. Functional
or
manager.
even TCS, Infia, all the big players, they will be here. They are more close to this. They work like this. So it
Okay.
depends on that power.
Got it, sir. Yeah.
Are you getting? So now coming back to your agile related question, agile could be implemented by these people or these people as well, wherever it is there. Correct?
Right.
Role of PM, basically a lot of softer aspects are expected out of a project manager. If you are a project manager, a lot of aspects are, are always expected from you. चैट जीपीटी किसी का ओपन है ना? Is
Yes.
ChatGPT open? Okay. Because at the end of this chapter, we'll try to solve some questions in that area. Okay. Now, project manager role is a most important role on the project, obviously, because he's the one, one stop. PM needs to deliver the project effectively as well as efficiently. That's very important. Efficiently, that you should use the resources properly. Effectively means your project should deliver the output. A project manager who ensures that all the resources report on time and they don't leave for 3 hours of lunch break. They take decent amount of project, lunch time. They leave only at the time. All that thing is saying he is managing it efficiently, not necessarily effectively. Sometimes output is not going. People are coming on time, they don't waste any time, but output nahi aa raha hai. So it may not be effective. Similarly, sometimes you are concentrating on effectiveness and ignoring efficiency. You can't. You will have to do both. That's what he is trying to say. This will say that the project manager need to have show four values. They are responsibility, respect, fairness, and honesty. Remember, these are the four values. PMI has actually very clearly said that the project manager need to demonstrate code of conduct by showing responsibility, respect, fairness, and honesty. The words themselves are self-explanatory. PM is leading the project and responsible for the work done by a number of resources who are assigned there. Based on organization type, power of the PM might differ. For example, functional organization, you are not powerful. If you are a projectized organization, you have a lot of power there. It changes. However, organization also need to tailor the project manager. He need not be the master of all the tasks done on the project, but he should be familiar about it. And an IT developer guy or who has learned everything in the IT can only go ahead and manage IT project. Not necessarily. They said it's not necessarily. But prelim level of the knowledge about the thing it should be there, otherwise it becomes difficult you to manage the things there. Here is the definition. A person assigned by the performing organization to lead the team that is responsible for achieving the project objective. That's the definition. His influences, the project manager has the influence most on the project. You would have realized project has, because he's a manager of that. So obviously he's very powerful. But did you notice that some project managers maybe they are there in your company, maybe few of you are also there, that they also have a good say within the organization. Beyond the project, they have good acceptance across, in that company. Have you came across such people? Maybe few of you
Yeah,
are also
yeah,
there.
Yes.
yeah,
Correct. Maria, does it help the project?
it does.
Yes. Did you notice that? Now,
Yes.
what this slide is trying to say, or PMI is trying to say that, Maria, don't say that, I am doing my project management very well, to bahut hai. You need to increase your influence on the project as well. If you do it, it will start benefiting the project. It will create the visibility, it will go ahead and you will get the right resources. All that thing will be possible. When you want to raise the resource, you need to know it. And that's where organization level, your influence should be there. Now, going beyond that, Maria, they say that there are some people who are good at industry itself. Industry itself is what? What does it mean is that if there is some issue, let's say, you want to integrate SAP with, Salesforce.com. This is an odd thing. And you are struggling to get right people for that. Did you notice, friend, that some people are there? They said, I think something similar, I think KPIT does it. केपीआईटी का ना हैदराबाद ऑफिस में दे हैव अ टीम व्हिच वर्क्स सो एक काम करते हैं लेट्स ट्राई टू टॉक टू समवन माय फ्रेंड इज देयर डिड यू नोटिस दिस टाइप ऑफ गाइस
Yeah.
that's called as industry. They say that you as a project manager, if you have impact there, you will get benefits. That's what they are trying to say. That's what is industry wide benefit. Beyond that, professional discipline, as a project manager, I mean who was this friend of us, Kuldeep or someone. Kuldeep is not there today right now. Looks like joining that PMI chapter, then going and meeting them every now and then. मैं बोला ना चाय कॉफी वाला होता है वो मारिया. Okay. Did you notice some people ये ऐसे ना हर ऐसे अजीब इवेंट में जाएंगे ये लोग. Do they enjoy some benefit, Maria?
Yeah,
Apart from चाय
networking.
कॉफी तो मिलती है. हाँ?
बहुत जाते हैं नेटवर्किंग के लिए.
बहुत अच्छा होता है. These people need it, Not
Yeah.
necessarily everyone has, it is not everyone's cup of tea. But This is required. That's what is professional discipline. So they are trying to say that, you try to increase your influence as much, then it will directly reflect into your project performance. Your project will be, a blessed one getting such a thing there. I think the reason for which they are trying to say that sometimes, the people who have grown extremely from the technical role, one of them was me also. So coming back to that, those type of people sometimes end up concentrating a lot here, saying that मैं मेरा काम अच्छा करूंगा, and then that's all. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. There are some people. It's not all about मैं मेरा काम करूंगा. I mean, that guy is little more, widely accepted. He ends up scoring better. Correct, friends?
Correct.
Funny enough, but it's truth.
Yeah.
So that's what they are trying to say. These are the roles, what project manager need to do. He need to be a good leader. Leader is basically an ability to motivate people and get the things done. That's called a leadership. So he need to be a good leader. Team building is an essential part of your job. Is that correct, friends?
Yes.
Yes.
Motivation, very important. Communication, who spoke. Influencing, very important. People who are, having a good influence on the sponsor, on the resource department, on the customer ends up winning the battle, Making decisions is an important responsibility of the project manager's job, which he need to do. Political and cultural awareness. Now, this is very funny, thing. This what they are trying to say is that, how things work into the thing. I would not call him as, a cunning guy. I would say he is a street smart guy. Political and cultural awareness is a street smart guy, कि कहाँ क्या चलता है. You need to know that. Are you getting this point, friends? What I am trying to say? Have you seen some people good at it?
Yes. Yes.
किस कंपनी में शिशिर, कि बॉस को सर बोलना अच्छा लगेगा, और किस कंपनी में बॉस को फर्स्ट नेम से is a different thing. I mean, there is nothing right or wrong about it. This is called a political and cultural awareness. Did you notice that?
Yes. Yes.
That did you notice some people are good at it as well?
Yes. Correct.
इसको चालू बोलना ठीक नहीं है शिशिर. Are you getting? आप उसको चालू नहीं बोल सकते. You can call him a street smart. So, but ये तो जरूरी है. Do you agree? You need to be having this ability. Yes, Maria?
Yeah, for survival.
हाँ, I mean, आपका सर्वाइवल लग जाता है उसमें. आप क्या करेंगे? That's how
Yeah.
it works. Whether
Yeah.
like that.
Environment देखो
Negotiate.
basically.
Remember, at the Maria and everyone, please try to understand. You are never allowed to cross PMI code of ethics. I mean, इसमें
Yeah.
because इसका extreme दूसरा एक भी version देखा हुआ है मैंने, Maria. PMI will not approve it. I mean, those people are, वो एक level और आगे चले जाते हैं, Maria. So. So, I mean, if you look at it, the people who go ahead and bribe the things, what do they say, Maria? They don't say that I am doing anything wrong. Na? वो क्या बोलते हैं, ये तो करना पड़ता है ना यार, हमें रिजल्ट देना है ना मेरे को. So if you look at that argument looks like, the right one. So there is a thin difference between that, but that thin difference line should be drawn on the basis of PMI code of ethical conduct. That's what. So political and cultural awareness, negotiations, part of life. If you are a project manager, you need to negotiate to so many people with your own boss, your vendors, your customer, your suppliers, your own team members. Facilitating is an important ability. You will get under the tools of data, get under the tool of communication, yeah, interpersonal team skills. Mein, they have used a tool called as facilitation techniques. Now what is the facilitation technique? Facilitation technique is an ability of a guy to take or keep the situation in his own control. Did you notice sometimes people are weak about it? What is the sign of it? They actually go ahead and book an conference room and say that, so many people should be called there, and then, they do a lot of struggle, and with great difficulty, they get some Thursday, third Thursday, everyone is available. Conference room book ho gaya, people come there and they, sit there. And did I use that word here in this batch? I don't know, but there is a meeting hijacker who comes. Did I use that word, meeting hijacker?
Yes. Yes. You have.
Yeah.
Correct? Now, a meeting hijacker, say you want to prevent your project. That's called as a facilitation technique, which means you should have an ability to do that. If it is not there, the pura meeting ho jayega, people will go home, and then kuch nahi hoga. You will not be able to take anywhere. That's called as a facilitation. Very important, knowledge, a very important skill, every project manager must have. Managing conflict, you are going to come across so many stakeholders there. It's not only managing conflict amongst your team member. It will be team member with customer, your boss versus customer's boss, and canning. So many things there. You need to manage the conflicts there. It's part of your life. And coaching is also important, trick you need to have it. Project manager need to also have the skills which are broadly grouped into this technical, leadership, and strategy. Who was using that word called as a PDU?
Raj.
Pawan, you were using that, correct?
Raj used it in the morning.
Raj was using it. Okay, okay. So he's not here right now. So, friends, what we are trying to say is that they say that your abilities, all your skills and all that thing, they are under technical leadership and strategy. See, technical ability is nothing to do with whether you know Java or Salesforce.com or SAP or not. Technical means your knowledge about the technical knowledge of project management. You should know, after collect requirement, we should do, define scope. After that, you should create the scheduling. Scheduling, you should reduce the timeline by reducing the dependency. That type of technical, technical knowledge about project management is technical. But only good project management technical knowledge is not enough. You need to have a leadership, which means you should have an ability. Your people should accept you as a boss here. That's very important thing. Someone who is damn good about all that thing, project management very well. If he doesn't have this leadership, boys will not accept him. And then it will be a problem. Have you noticed I use the word called boys?
Yes.
उसका मीनिंग है ना पवन, आर यू गेटिंग? आई डिडंट
Yes.
कॉल टीम मेंबर बॉयज का मतलब कुछ और होता है. इज दैट राइट? यस मारिया.
I didn't understand that.
I thought it's team members.
हाँ, वो आप भी बॉयज हो सकती हो मारिया. आई मीन देयर आर गर्ल्स हु आर बॉयज एज वेल. दैट सेंस what do I mean by boys is basically it's a group of people who are decision makers in the given project. That's a group which actually decides, and you need to get accepted by them here. If that ability you have, you will be able to serve it. That type of team members are called as boys. Are you? I mean, that's a very funny thing. It's my word, Maria. So don't think this into anywhere in the Google. But do you think this is important?
Yes, absolutely.
Managing boys is very important, characteristic of it.
Yes.
That is where leadership comes into the picture. But not only that, the third one is called a strategic and businessman. See, what he is trying to say that you should be able to sell your project within the company. Have you noticed some people good at it? You getting my point? What I mean by selling your project in the company?
Getting acceptance from the management.
Did you notice, Pawan? Some of the some of the project managers have a good skill to do so.
Correct.
If they even do a small improvement, the CEO in all hands meeting will say, here is going Pawan, what he has done and all that. तो नीचे में लोग यार हम लोग 10 साल से ये कर रहे हैं. This Pawan did it once and then this boy, this boss is praising him. Have you noticed this type of things, Pawan, happening?
Yes.
This is called a strategic and business management. These are, but not only that, it also says that, the financial angle of the project and all that thing you should know. You can't be only, having good people manager as well as technical. You need to have this financial profitability, EBITDA, margin, cost, all those things you need to know it. Those are called as strategic and business management. Now, the reason for which I, remembered Raj about that question, Pawan, is that when you are going to report the PDU, if you have watched some video, let's say, and you want to report saying that, I have watched the video which was for 3 hours and I want 3 PDUs. Now, those 3 PDUs, you need to go ahead and mark it against these. So, if it was related to developing the people and all that thing, you'll have to mark it as a leadership related.
Okay.
It was all about, what are the agile practices latest there, it's called as technical thing. If you have learned something on, or you read a book called as, understanding finance balance sheet by the engineers, that's a strategic and business management. It's a categorization. All these three type of skills are required by the project manager. Correct?
Okay.
Then leadership and the management are two important things, but they are not. Oh, sorry, leadership only. Management, they have not spoken here, down the line somewhere. Project management has a big component managing people. It needs dealing with the people, obviously, and calls for several qualities. And you need to be aware of the politics. I spoke about it. Politics is not bad. It is all about how do things work in a given situation. Different type of powers people have. Positional power comes out of the fact that you are titled as a project manager. Because you are a project manager, you have some rights. For example, you can do appraisal, you can decide which person will go on to the next on-site opportunity, who will work from home, how many days, those type of positional power. That's called as a positional power. Informational power is coming out of the fact that you are having access to a lot of information. I'm sure you would have heard about some people say that, so they said, yesterday, what happened? CFO spoke to CEO and he said that I think we should reduce our dependency from US and move more into the Europe. अब ये बंदे को किधर मालूम? He is on the cup of coffee. Such people speak that. Have you came across such people?
Yes.
These type of power is called as information. Did you notice? And kabhi kabhi shishir, these people are bluffing. But sometimes they have access to that. Did you notice that? ये रखना पड़ता है shishir. Are you getting it?
Yeah. Yes.
वो उसके सेक्रेटरी के साथ थोड़ा दोस्ती करेगा, उसको बीच बीच में केक खिलाएगा, कुछ तो भी करना पड़ता है तुमको. इट डजंट कम जस्ट लाइक दैट. रिमेंबर, none of these power are good or bad. They are the power. People hold it. You need to try to possess some of them. You need not. Referent is, said to be you are getting the power because of proximity or reference to someone. You are referred to someone. You are nominated by the CEO to go ahead and implement some tool. Now, that's not your power. Because you are nominated by the CEO, everyone will have to respect to Shishir. That's a referent. Situational power is coming out of the given situation. The customer's CEO's, personal secretary was your classmate when you were in the college. This is the situational power which you get there. Positional, personal or charismatic, the people who are seen by people and said, हाँ यार, ये आदमी बहुत सही है. That type of power. Relational, some people are having a power related because of they are having individual touch with so many people. Have you seen it, friends? Some people are good at relational power. Have you noticed it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are huge here, and these people are. I came across one of my boss was there. And you talk to her, maybe half an hour, some business discussion, all that. And at the end of it, she will come back and say, I think your daughter was in 12th standard. नहीं क्या अभी वो क्या कर रहे हैं? Is she joined some college? Now that was relational power. There are people who are damn good about these things. Have you noticed it?
Yeah. Interpersonal skills high.
Extremely good interpersonal skills. Remember, friends, it is not bad or good. It is all about these are the powers which, some people use it. Sometimes you might also use it. Expert is said to be the best power, which means people look at you for that particular thing, for any given skill. Let's say if someone says that you have a doubt about, what are the latest methodology in the Agile, go to that guy on the fifth floor. He is a cat. He will tell you any solution. Expert power. Expert power doesn't come on a paper. It comes with the people respecting you over the thing. It comes out of the experience. Reward oriented or punitive are two sides of the same coin. Because of the position, you are able to give some reward to someone or punish someone. You are the one who are going to work on the people's appraisal. You are the one who are also going to work on to who will go on site and who will go where. Those type of things are there. Ingratiating, in short, the only good thing Hindi word I could get is maska lagana. There are some people who are good at that particular thing, flattering the people, making them so boss tere jaisa to koi nahi. Those type of thing. Is that a power? Yes, they call it as a power. Pressure based. People say that I want this whole thing to be done by Monday. Those type of there are so many characters there. They are called as pressure-based power. Then comes guilt-based. Guilt-based type of the people, they are actually come back. They said कि यार इतना नहीं करेगा क्या तू मेरे लिए? See, we are all Indians, Shishir. We should help each other. Like, I am telling you somewhere, you have a choice to say yes or no. But I will not say that. I will say we are all Indian, we should do it. Are you getting this type of people? Guilt-based. They bring in the guilt in your mind so that you accept whatever is their request. Then comes persuasive, LIC agent basically, and avoiding the people who don't take any decision. They keep on, they said, you see, I'm very busy. Why don't you do one thing? You take your own decision. These type of people are there. Are these good power, bad power? No, but they are the power. So we might use. Leadership and management are not same. Management is getting the things done, and leadership is develop the people, motivate them, and then get the things done. Obviously, leadership is better, but management skills are also required quite often. See, typically in time critical thing when you want to solve certain issue within the given 10 days and all that, you need management. Manage leadership. See, the problem about the people who are having extremely leadership oriented thing and missing the management, look at every problem from the people angle. Now, in 80% of the situation, it could be good, but there are 20% situation where you need to be a manager. वो action tracker लेके 1, 2, 3, 4 bullet point करके करना पड़ता है. Are you getting this, friends? I mean, difference between these two? Yes, Sachin?
Yes.
You need,
To some extent, yeah.
basically,
Every-
what did you say, Pawan?
Everything seems to be the similar kind of.
But Pawan, are you getting the difference between these two, leader and management?
Yes, yes.
And do you also accept that sometimes management is required? Leadership. See,
Yeah.
if you want to solve, there is some customer escalation in 4 hours, you need to go ahead and sort it out. A typical leader will start concentrating on the people angle of it. Correct, Sajin and Pawan?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
not the time. This is the time where you need to sit down and make an action point tracker. खत्म करना है तेरे को वो, correct?
Right.
So their manager will, come as a victorious there. These are different, styles of the leadership. They are saying, there are less fire. Less fire is basically the people who allow the situation to take its own decision. They allow the things to, they don't take any decision and leave it to the situation to automatically take the turn. Transactional are the people who will convert everything into the process. If you want to solve some problem, they said, let's do one thing. Make me a detailed report. I will forward it to HR. And based on the HR's response, we will forward it to the customer. They will make a process out of everything. Then comes servant leader, who spoke at length. This is the person who is trying to remove the impediments from your way. Transformational, these are people who allow or who encourage the people to look at the situation completely different. Traditional solutions will be different. Transformational, some people are like that. Basically, they are thinking the solutions which are quite often called as out of the box solution. Charismatic is, which means people love him, saying that okay, this is the guy. So this type of leader. And interactional, that relational power जैसा interaction. Basically an ability to interact with the people, be friendly. These are the people on the cuff of or the dinner meeting with the customer will start discussing, saying that whether what ये football team अच्छा है या वो football team. They will speak about that. Interactional. They are able to connect with the people with interaction. This is not there. The personality, this is self-explanatory. These are type of personalities: authenticate, courtesy, creative. And the last but not the least is performing integration. This is one of the job of the project manager, ensuring that all the people are tied up together, all the processes are followed, all the compliances are done. This is performing integration is one of the job. So this was in short, the chapter 3. 1, 2, and 3. 2 was, environment, where we learned EEF and OPA. And chapter 3, role of the PM.
Chapter 3 तो ऐसा लग रहा है PMI is asking to become a Superman.
In fact, all chapter if you finish, then you will go to the cost, you will find that he is expecting you to be a CA. So, Shishir, very often I say that, this is typically a MBA course which try to finish in 4 days. पूरा MBA कोर्स है रे. It
Right.
has people related management theories and all that. 1.5 साल MBA कोर्स चलता है, which they have almost shrunk into the 4 days. And that's where, Shishir, you will realize that while this is a challenge there, this is what makes this certificate also valuable. It has a value as well because of that, and that's where it is not too easy, to crack these type of things there. So, lot of people management theories there.
Yeah.
Yes. Any questions before we switch to someone who is ready with the chat GPT? एक थोड़ा तो क्वेश्चन रोल ऑफ पीएम पे कर ही लेंगे, मे बी 2-3 ऑफ देम, नॉट टू मेनी. Who does it?
I can do it.
Yes, Pawan, please. I will stop sharing. So let's watch on the Pawan screen today. Scenario based question on role of PMP. These questions, Pawan, are tricky because it is people related question, and people related questions, the problem is that there is no perfect solution. Everything is relative there. So they are sometimes tricky. Good, nice to see your screen coming up there. Yes, correct. So I can see that now. Let me increase it to full size so that I can watch your screen properly. Yes. So here, okay. Yeah. What do you write there? PMP questions on role of PM without answer key.
Okay.
Done. I think just press enter. Let's see. Acha, they are not given multiple choice. Edit kar usko.
Maybe.
Probably just
Say
add
say with answers, but not the answer key.
With answer. Acha.
just make it
Mul-
multiple choice question
Multiple choice, I think. हाँ.
without answer.
हाँ. वो आंसर आए तो फिर वो, I mean, you multiple choice. Correct.
Without.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which of the following best describe the primary role of the project manager? To perform all the tasks individually to meet the project objective, to manage project work and ensure that the team reports to functional manager, to lead the team in achieving project objective and balance constraints, to execute project work as per the stakeholder direction. Yes, बहुत simple था.
Basically, all of
See.
This was very straightforward. See,
yes.
because just other things are just not making any sense. Yeah. Yeah. Go back. Oh, okay. You are writing something.
Yes. I just,
Okay, you are noting it down. Good. 2. The key stakeholder requests the change. It could affect the project scope. What should the project manager do first? Implement the change immediately. ये हुआ था क्या? Evaluate the impact of the change before taking any action. Escalate the request and reject the. हाँ, वो B था हमारा आंसर था.
ये हुआ है.
Just note कर ले, B लिख ही ले वैसे भी, because we are checking it. Then comes, which of the following is responsible of the project manager during planning phase? Approving the business case, developing project charter, creating project management plan, and managing benefit realization.
See,
See.
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 Hmm?
Creating the
Create project management plan.
Now let us try to go ahead and play other way. Why not A?
Approving the
Business case.
So it's
That is
not falling under planning
before.
phase.
That is a
Pehla चीज
project
वो, it is not
It's
under
a
planning.
input. It's
Is
input
it
for
falling under the
charter.
project manager?
no, this is with sponsor.
Sponsor. Exactly. So approving business case is out of question. If you would have actually said that, developing the business case, to be I would have probably thought about it. And that too, if it is saying in the planning, so it is gone. In the planning, business case is out of question.
Out of.
Yeah.
Developing the project charter.
Before.
Before.
Initial.
This is done in the
initialization phase.
initiation in that sense. So probably this would have been answer if it was initiation. C was very clear thing. And managing benefits realization.
Mm-hmm.
This would be during
So
Monitoring and control, is it?
Correct. Monitoring and control, and sometimes beyond the project, when project manager is no more a project manager. Correct, Maria?
Yeah.
Because I mean, beyond the project also there are benefits there. So D also is not the best choice. Yeah. Fourth one, a team member comes to project manager with a personal issue affecting their performance. What should the project manager do? Reassign the team member to another project, escalate the issue, listen
No,
actively and
C.
provide
it's
support
like
within the professional boundaries
it's
and remove the team. अरे ये बहुत
C.
simple कर दिया. C. C is straight. Yeah. So take C as an answer. You want to note that? Yes. What is the best leadership approach for project manager working with a high performance
C.
agile team? Directive, coaching, servant leader, and bureaucrat. अरे यार ये लोग these are not really
Servant
brilliant.
leadership.
C.
पास हो जाएंगे 100% से.
इसे 100% हो जाएगा. Okay. Then comes 6. Which of the following demonstrate project manager's role as an integrator? Scheduling team member annual leave, ensuring that the project component work together to deliver result. B is not a bad idea, but unless there are. C, conducting the individual performance reviews and develop the product features personally. अरे कुछ भी नहीं, B है ये सीधा.
B.
B for Bombay. No way. Seventh, during execution, a team member frequently miss the deadline. What should the project manager report the issue to? Replace the team member, privately discuss the issue, identify possible and support. Ignore the
C.
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 So I don't think. I mean, today they were very simple questions, isn't it? 8.
थोड़ा उसमें लिखना है.
Pawan.
It's tough questions.
लिखना पड़ेगा. हाँ, 8th देख अभी 8th. What is the project manager's responsibility where a risk is identified late in the project? चलो ये ज्यादा अच्छा situation तो है. Accept the risk since it is too late to address it. Document the risk in the risk register and develop a response plan. Transfer the risk to functional manager and cancel the project.
B.
B for Bombay or D for
Yes.
Delhi?
B for Bombay.
B.
B for Bombay. ना? सीधा है ये. Accept the risk since it is too late is not the thing. It could be whatever late. Yeah, I mean, if it is a risk, you need to identify. So B for Bombay is right answer.
आंसर में बी और सी ही चल रहा है, तो बाकी का क्या बी होगा या सी?
So wherever
50.
you are doubtful, Maria, in the final exam also choose B and C.
बी एंड सी.
So 50% तो chance है पक्का. And there is no negative mark, so why not? Yeah, take ninth one. Which one of the following is the best reflects the key communication role of the communication role? Ensure only senior. अरे यार ये तो नहीं. Creating the project schedule, tailoring the communication style for different stakeholder needs, and manage time zone.
C.
ये
लग रहा है.
मारिया C और D B है. I mean, they are just not changing. And in fact उसी में भी C ज्यादा दिख रहा है मेरे को.
सी आई थिंक सी है.
So maybe the author his name is C or his spouse's name is C.
Chat GPT, so for C.
B, C, B, C.
C for ChatGPT.
What
Managers, project manager.
reform regarding the stakeholder engagement? Inform the stakeholder project result only at closure. No. Managing the stakeholder expectation and involvement throughout. Yes, correct. Avoiding the stakeholder interaction to reduce area. Letting the project sponsor manage the stakeholder. नहीं पर B for Bombay again. But और एक थोड़ा डाल देंगे कि इसको. I mean, ये take the question on leadership and management if there is any. लीडरशिप एंड मैनेजमेंट. अच्छा, डबल कोट में डालना पड़ता है कि उसको?
नहीं, वैसा ले लेते हैं.
Management.
कुछ भी डालो सब समझ जाता ही है.
Oh, which leadership style is most appropriate for managing the team of experts who are highly skilled and self-motivated? यानी ये चिल्लर क्वेश्चन था. ये सीधा B है. No way. A, project manager works to empower team member and encourage innovation. Which leadership? Empower the team member and encourage the innovation. Which leadership approach?
Transformation.
This is good यार. मस्त है ये. This is good. क्या है ये?
A.
Yeah.
Are you getting what I said about transformational? Out of box वाला है. That's what is 2. So A is the answer. This you are not noting. A and B.
B and A, right?
पहला वाला
B.
B and A.
पहला वाला B and A. Okay. And by the way, Maria, for you, the change at least A answer they have chosen somewhere. So
Yeah. I was happy about it. C का तो मुझे खुद मीनिंग ही नहीं आ रहा था तो मैंने बोला वो तो छोड़ो.
When leading a virtual team across multiple time zones, the project manager should focus on assigning all work during their own working hours. It's a good style, basically. Reduce the
C.
team meeting to once per month. No, not good. Building trust through consistent communication and inclusion, and delegating all the coordination to team lead. B and D को तो निकाल देते हैं. We'll drop it. Correct.
C.
Now we
C.
need to choose between A and C. Correct.
Yes.
Assigning all the work during their own work hours and building the trust through consistent communication and inclusion. And what the situation when leading a virtual team across multiple time zones, she should focus on
C
C could be the.
C लग रहा है.
C.
We actually
building the
do it.
trust
Yeah.
Yeah.
rather than assigning the thing.
One meeting with
The
existing.
signing तो anyways होना ही है ना. I mean, people will work
I
on their
think
working
C.
hours.
So A में you are you saying that the urgency and all that thing is getting ignored? He is getting too much people oriented.
He is more close to leadership.
C is more close
and
because C
A
में he
is
is worried about the project as well, I think. Building the trust.
It's inclusion basically.
So comma A लिख दे. I think we'll go with C first and A as a second one.
he is more closer
Correct.
to leadership.
Which of the following demonstrate emotional intelligence? Strict adherence to the daily deadline? No. Providing the constructive feedback and empathy? Yes, this is right. Avoiding difficult conversation, ignoring interpersonal.
B.
Yeah, I
B.
think B है.
B. वापस से B C चालू हो गया क्या?
Then fifth one is the project manager want to develop the leadership skill in junior team member. What is the best approach? Assign the low risk administrative task only. No. Offer mentoring and assign the ownership of small work package. This is good.
This is good.
Direct them without feedback.
B.
Prevent them from making independent. कुछ भी नहीं
B.
है. B है ये तो
B.
सीधा.
B.
Right away answer.
चल ले आंसर. Take answers for above. कि नहीं और है questions?
Yeah, topic management. Management की सबसे कुछ है.
अच्छा. Anyway, चल छोड़.
Management.
That's not. Answer above बोलने का क्या?
Send your answer, it will confirm and tell you how much you scored.
You can send that as well.
Yes.
Yes.
तो वो तो
No,
but
not just the
not-
previous
ये
one, just the
उसको
new
नहीं.
set.
Last
So,
five.
These.
our score will be very
Yeah.
less
उसमें लिख दो
because
category. Just ask the
हाँ.
category one. I mean the
Yeah.
topic was कौन सा ऊपर कौन सा topic है वो? हाँ, leadership.
leadership.
Just ask him. These are the leadership answer keys. Whether it is, maybe just ask her score.
Parenthesis.
अच्छा, you are just asking it.
Yeah.
She was saying वो
ना वो
paste
दे
किया
दो.
तो
वो
भी वो करेगा.
करेगा उसको
हम
लिखो ना.
करेंगे.
वो करेगा.
अच्छा.
Just paste your answer.
Paste your answers A, B, C,
and
D.
or just write. Give me the score with these answers.
Give me the score, right?
हाँ. कर एंटर कर लेगा शायद.
Your answers.
Correct.
Correct.
ये दोनों B, C
C.
या A?
C is correct.
C को correct.
Third C is correct.
क्या रैशनल भी
So
देगा.
you
But I
get
was not
credit.
thrilled.
देखो भाई स्कोर मिल गया.
I was
ऊपर से
not
4
Credit
point.
मिल गया.
But I was not thrilled because ये थोड़े simple थे question.
Simple,
I don't
yeah.
think it is that straight simple in the final PMP. Low PMP पे try कर लेना थोड़ा. This is and role of PM as a chapter has got an importance because you are going to get what 75 question out of 180 on the people. So role of PM is a predominant for the people related question. So solve more questions in this area. ये इसमें और एक प्रॉब्लम है कि this is always a debatable thing. It's not very clear. Process related questions, the debate could be less. There is a yes or no type of answer. People related, there are no yes or no, not type of question. Chalo, anyway, I think we'll stop. We have taken little longer thing there. Okay? But nevertheless, it was interesting, to do that. So tomorrow, let us catch up sharp at 9 a.m. and then we'll take this journey ahead. Is that okay?
Yes,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
Yes, yeah.
Thank you.
So Raj,
Yeah.
4 a.m.
Yeah. 4-7
Oh, okay.
to be
That's
precise.
really there. But good that you asked me that question, which made me to, run that whole long description, even though it was slightly put out of schedule. Yeah, but that's okay. Okay. Chalo.
Sanjay, one question from my side, like ideally it's a request. Like, do we have any business case documents that we can practice them?
Are you saying business case in the sense that business case?
Correct, correct. When preparing the project chatter, like you actually
See,
have.
templates are there. We'll check those templates. I will show you those templates tomorrow.
Sure, sure. Yeah.
Bring this tomorrow again because today it is little late to do that. But nevertheless, it was good. Brilliant. So let's catch up tomorrow, friends.
Okay.
Thanks.
Bye.
And bye,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
everyone. Bye.